Pardon the interruption, but I'm Mike Wilbon. The Nats have blown 3 straight games in the 9th because they don't have a bullpen like we do.
I'm Frank Isola. Put me in, Coach. I'm ready.
All right.
My arm's good.
Okay. No rotator cuff issues.
I've only thrown 50 pitches this year. They keep taking me out after one batter.
All right, we don't want you to have Tommy John. They're trying to protect you.
Actually, you're not a pitcher if you don't have Tommy John these
No,
days,
you're
right?
Not legit. Welcome to PTI. Tony is showing a callous disregard for his responsibilities. So here to pick up his slack is our great friend from the starting lineup on Sirius XM, Mr. Frank Isola. Big Friday welcome. Let's start with the United States men losing to Turkey 3-2 at the World Cup on the final shot of the game. A nutmeg of Christian Pulisic in the corner led to a sequence of events that culminated in Turkey's game winner in extra time. The U.S. rested several starters after already clinching the group. So head coach Mauricio Pochettino expressed confusion and annoyance as to why anyone would be concerned. Frank, are you?
Well, number one, we're in the media. We're supposed to be annoying. That's what you do when you ask questions.
Yeah.
Exactly. We are annoying. But concerned, no, for a number of reasons. First of all, most of the starting lineup was sitting down, right? Either because of yellow cards accumulated, you don't want to get 2, you'd be suspended for the round of 32. But most importantly, you mentioned what happened at the end of the game with Christian Pulisic, but he hadn't played since the first half against Paraguay. He then comes on last night in the second half, and I thought he was really good attacking down that left side.
What, final 25 minutes or so?
And you know what? There was that one play, the left-footed shot that he took where he just slipped a little bit, and that was, a beautiful bending shot. So he looks good. He definitely has a bounce to his step. So because of that, and I know defensively will be better, Chris Richards and, Tim Ream, Jedi Robinson, those are all guys that have played at a high level. They'll be starting the next game. And here's the other thing, Mike. The draw is set up really nicely for the U.S. The Netherlands is playing Morocco in the round of 32. Both of those teams are good enough to reach a final. The U.S. is playing Bosnia-Herzegovina, which is a good team. I'm not trying to tell you that they're not. And then we could potentially play Egypt in the round of 16. So things are setting up nicely. And for me, what I take away from that last night, our guys on a yellow card are available, and Christian Pulisic looks like he's back.
Was the most important development for me last night. I don't know that I was expecting to see that kind of bounce and that burst on a couple of runs he had right away, as soon as he got in the game. I think the most important part of that is he must feel he's okay, right? I mean, you would expect him maybe to be tentative, having not played since, June 11? But what bothered me about it was Turkey seemed to play with a spirit
100%.
on the road
100%.
that I would expect the U.S. team to match and then squash. That didn't happen. And to score that late in that way, they had nothing at stake. They're going home.
Pride. They're playing for pride.
Okay, but I mean nothing in terms of the standings, nothing in terms of World Cup. They're going home. And for them to have to still play with that sort of energy throughout that game, Frank, I'm like, okay, I'm looking for something. You're looking for signs. Whether momentum matters or not, there's some sports I believe you and I both are covered enough baseball to believe there really is no momentum, right? But I don't know, you know more about international football than I do. Do you think momentum can be an issue?
You know what? I don't think it's going to be. I think getting those players rest, making sure that nobody was going to be suspended for the next match was important. For Turkey, they're one of the better teams in that group. So they're flying home thinking we should be going to the next round. The big thing now will be, can Pulisic play 90 minutes? He's definitely going to start the next game. One thing about Bosnia, they needed to win a playoff game at Wales. They trailed in that game, won in penalty kicks. Then they had to beat Italy, trailed in that game, won in penalty kicks. That is a big, physical, tough team. They will not be easy. All right, this afternoon's huge showdown between France and Norway for first place in their group. Didn't seem like such a big deal to Norway's coach. He rested 10 players from the jump, including star striker Erling Haaland. His rationale was that he'd take the tougher opponent in the knockout round as long as his players were well rested. The result? Ousmane Dembele, who's terrific, had a hat trick for France in the first 31 minutes as France won 4-1. Mike, your reaction to Norway's decision here?
I think my first reaction was to France. like if Dembele, who seemed to be in some sort of a slump,
Yeah.
right, earlier for about a 10 or 11 game stretch, if you got Dembele playing like this, and you've got Mbappe playing like he's already playing, it just seems. Is France the most talented team in your opinion?
Not
okay,
not
and if guys are playing at this level to this form, all right, but I understand Norway's decision was much like the U.S. decision, like Pochettino's decision. We need to go with our best group out there in their best form. I'm wondering this, and so I'm going to come to you for this again. If Norway is playing the Ivory Coast, and if France, which has a 99%
could
chance
play
of this,
Sweden,
is playing Sweden, was Norway, is that bigger risk? Are those two teams so different, the Ivory Coast and Sweden, or does it make no difference what they were doing by resting?
I think the biggest disappointment is for the people in New England that spent a lot of money and you wanted to see two of the best players in the world, Kylian Mbappe, and you wanted to see Erling Haaland, who to watch in person, I've got a chance to do that. It's amazing because he's an absolute LeBron in his prime when he was the most dominant player in the NBA. That's Erling Haaland. Physically, he's just so much more dominant. But you did get to see Mbappe, who played most of the game, and then Dembele, who's the Ballon d'Or winner, best, the player of the year in FIFA. He was outstanding. 3 goals, like we mentioned, in the first 31 minutes. What's interesting now is you mentioned those groupings. Right now, if both Norway and France were to win, there's a chance you get France-Germany on July 4th, and then we could get Norway-Brazil on July 5th. The only reason I'm skipping a couple of matches ahead because I got tickets for July 4th and July 5th. So I'm hoping I get to see France-Germany, Norway-Brazil.
Norway. And it's the same question that is going to come. Second guessing doesn't happen only the next day.
Yeah.
Second guessing follows you around. I mean, if Norway or the United States looks somehow sluggish or less than moving ahead, then it becomes, wait a minute. If you had really played more seriously in the previous game, the worthless result in group, might you have been in better stead now?
I just feel, I feel bad for the fans up there because you have Haaland in play, and then you even have Martin Odegaard, who's a terrific player that plays for Arsenal. These players don't come over very often.
France look good.
Good.
Really good.
I don't know what it's going to take a lot to beat them. You're going to have to get really lucky to beat them.
Let's move to something, more domestic. The Mets dumping manager Carlos Mendoza after the team suffered a 4-game sweep at home at the hands of the Cubs. The Mets have the second highest payroll in baseball, yet are in last place in the NL East. Owner Steve Cohen said during spring training that making the playoffs was the baseline goal for his team. But the Mets are currently 9.5 out of the third and final wildcard spot. Frank, has managing been the issue with these Mets?
It's everything. It's pitching, it's fielding.
It's
The other night, that doubleheader,
the
infield had six
errors. I watched the doubleheader.
6.
I didn't watch last night. I watched the doubleheader.
And you know that
it looked like Little League.
It was terrible. And baseball is all about numbers, so I'll just give you a couple of quick ones.
Okay.
$370 million. That's the payroll. 34-47 is the record. Someone's going to take the fall. Now, Mendoza was handpicked by David Stearns, the president of baseball operations.
Stearns fired the previous manager?
Yes.
So that's 2 managers for Stearns?
But this was his guy.
Okay.
And remember, they went through a 12-game losing streak in April. And do you realize over their past few games between June 18th and the 24th, which includes games against the Cubs, they gave up